No.
No? Well, I
Yes.
say yes. We have an episode featuring Astra, the Astra. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. She is in
I
fact not dead. And
I'm
also
not
her
dead.
microphone quality is 2% better, which means that Radio Rothingham has gotten 2% more professional.
Hooray.
Hooray,
That's
so how does it make you
totally
feel?
professional. Even less professional than the guy who jacks off in front of a camera.
In front or in proximity of a camera? Those things are different, you know. Anyway, so you're watching the new episode of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional podcast on the entire internet. I am the Artrix. We got with us the Astra.
What?
And we got Sekele.
Yes, I am here.
And Xaverius might show up, maybe not. He's kind of being like, nah, you're not recording on Friday, so yeah, that's all up to him. But he's not here right now. But he might just pop in later. I mean, he hasn't missed a single episode, and something tells me he's not going to just break that record. Anywho, so right.
It is not Friday, so maybe.
Yeah, because I was there, to start recording, and then he didn't really show up. So I stopped, and then he appeared, but it was like too late. So I was like, no, we're not doing this. But we're doing this now, and we're doing it live.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, last week was kind of a very eventful week. A lot of thingies have happened.
What thingies did happen?
Well, for one thing, let's start up with the most jolly of them all. Or
Christmas?
Neutrality is
well,
dead.
Oh.
That, but it's the season, and let's start with something nice. So yeah, I actually celebrate Christmas because my brother's going to New Zealand on Christmas Day. I don't know why. Maybe it's cheaper that way. But yeah, so our family decided, you know what, we're not really that Christian and whatnot, so we're just going to celebrate Christmas right now instead of trying to be dead set on celebrating it on the actual Christmas day. So I had Christmas early. It was very jolly and good cheers and whatnot. Also got a really wicked cool clock. It's like the flip clock, so yeah, it's completely analog, which is cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And they're also not really that cheap these days. Like back in the 60s, you couldn't really walk anywhere without tripping over a bunch of flip clocks. But now it's like, oh yeah, this shit's completely designer. So you're going to have to pay 6 trillion euros just for designer flip clock, which is like a 50-year-old technology, but it's retro, so it's designer. Oh, by the way, I'm drawing Trixie for no particular reason. I just felt like drawing Trixie for this episode.
So what's the reason?
It's Trixie. That's all there's to it. It's Trixie.
Have you already drawn her for one of these?
I've kind of been on a Trixie kick. I must have drawn her at least 3 times in the past 2 weeks or so. Anyway, speaking of the Christmases, let's talk with the most useless topic ever. And since a lot of us are into Overwatch, well, there's a new event on the Overwatches, and it's all about Christmas. Yay!
Yay!
And you get to play a team of maze hunting down a Yeti Winston.
That's the best part about it all, because
It is. I love it.
it's definitely a lot better than the other one where it's just maze. It's basically just insta gip with insta gip with maze. So you're just
Snowballs, and you just get sniped every time you try and go to the snowball pile.
Well, that's the whole point of the mode. It's inside gib. I mean, if you don't shoot someone first, then they'll shoot you. So you just have to be faster and more accurate than the other person.
Stronger.
Well, not really, because it's inside gib.
Oh.
You're not. No one is OP in. Well, that's the thing in instant gib. Everyone's OP, so you just have to be.
More OP.
The only deciding factor is whether you're more accurate and faster than the other person, and if your positioning is good. That's also important.
Of course.
But it's not like it's not like a baby diva versus a fully charged Zarya. That's not a fair comparison here.
No.
So Astra, how do you like it?
Hi. I love it because they have a new skin for the Junkers. I really love it. I mean, I really like it.
Walrus. There is Walrus, Roadhog, and Australian Christmas Junkrat.
That's right.
Australian
There's
Christmas look.
Featurette. And what's the other one? Let me find it. I can't. Where is he?
You came
Easy.
well prepared.
I came prepared. Yes.
Because Radio Rothingham, these professional
Yep,
podcasts and
And
time.
Iceman Fisherman. It's Ice Fisherman Roadhog. It's
Oh,
great 'cause
that's the name of the skin, Ice Fisherman Roadhog. Oh.
Yes. Oh, Ice Fisherman Roadhog.
You think they put something like
Wolves.
Walrus in there, since that's all I can think of when I see the skin. It's like this. It's. You know what he reminds me of? Have you ever played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze? Or Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze? That's the
No,
name
I
of.
haven't. That's the
Ah.
only game I don't have for the Wii.
You probably should get it because it's really good.
Okay.
Especially if you like them platforming games. Do you like platform games?
I do.
Then you should get it. It's a good platform. Especially if you want to try and 100% the entire thing. But
I am not a completionist.
You're not?
But yeah, no, I'm not.
Well, me neither, in the sense that I did get a lot of the content in that game, but eventually kind of get into Korea territory where you have to really get everything. I do think I unlocked these special levels in the game, but you'd still need to beat them like perfectly, and only then you can really unlock the true ending or whatever. Though, now that I think of it, to get to these secret worlds, you need to beat all the temples in that game, which are like really hard levels. And by hard, I mean they're really hard.
Oh. So
Like,
anyway, getting back to the Overwatch skins, the Roadhog is more or less just one giant fisherman wolves.
yeah, so that
Nothing.
really looks like an enemy from that game.
Yeah.
Which I like. It's
Hi.
though I don't think I'm going to drop my credits on that skin. For one thing, I don't really play Roadhog that much anymore.
No.
You need to drop your money on that skin, not just credits, Artrix. Don't be silly.
But if no, Xaverius, if I put money in that skin, there's only one way to do it, and it's to buy loot boxes. I don't want to do that.
Artrix, you should do that while they're still legal.
No.
Because then they make them illegal and you have to go to the shady guy at the corner of the street and be like, hey, you have any loot boxes for Overwatch?
I kind of like your way of thinking there, though. I mean, right now it's not elusive because it's legal and it's like, you know, you're playing the game and the game is all like, hey, psst, hey kid, buy loot boxes. And like, I see what you're trying to do there. Ah, fuck no, I'm not buying these loot boxes. The game's like, but loot boxes. I'm like, no, fuck off. I'm just going to play the game. And the game's like, but I'm so shiny. Like, yeah, I see right through you. Just stop. And then the game just keeps doing it, but just, you know, ignore it like a normal goddamn person.
Speaking about dumping coins on loot boxes and yeah, I was able to get the 3,000 golden emote for Orisa.
Oh yeah. For some
was like-
reason, that fucker's 3,000 credits.
It is. And that was my first gold. I'm like, oh, okay, I like the emote.
Even though you never play Orisa.
I never play Orisa, and
You should play Orisa
I don't
more
understand. I really don't. Why it's that one 3,000 coins?
Because
Because it's a very elaborate...
Astra.
Go
You
on.
have to realize that the Nigga bot has 2 sets of legs. That makes it 2 champions.
Yep. Actually, yeah, I like this reasoning.
What?
But hey, you got it, GG. Now you can use it in skirmish.
Yes.
I guess so. It loops. It looks like it loops.
Yeah, it probably does.
Puppy. It's adorable though. I can understand the appeal, but it's not worth 3,000 coins.
Nope.
I can.
Even if I were a wrestler man, I would not drop 3k on that
No.
emote.
Well, that was my first gold. I'm like, yes, a gold. Okay. I'm happy, I guess. Pig. But I will
Oink.
drop the 3,000 coins on the beach rat, but only at the end if I don't get him.
Uh-huh. But
Yeah.
do you have 3,000 coins?
I've got 1,960. I'm close.
So, all right. Well, considering that still weeks to go, I'm sure you can do it.
I can do it. I know I can.
Mhm.
I will
Are you like that lady on the poster that's like, I can do it, except she says we can do it.
I think I can. I thought I could.
Oh, okay. This may come across a little bit sexist and misogynist, but yeah, I imagine a poster like that to be more realistic. So it's not like we can do it. It's more like, I guess we can do it. Maybe, please help. And also instead of the lady with the from the poster, it's just Peach.
Peach.
It's just that poster, but it's just Peach.
I can peach.
She just says Peach and nothing else.
Sometimes he says impeachment.
Oh my god. Are you trying to segue into another topic?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I love the beach rat, and giant Baba Ducky for his reptile is perfect. It's like that Kronk when it hits the sun just right pose.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this event. It's Christmassy, it's festive. A lot of people are nicer, I've noticed. They're not as salty. But then again, I was playing about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, so there probably wasn't as many.
Oh, that's yeah. If you play around those times, that's usually when the underage B and are not around.
Yep.
So yeah, you're just left with needs and college students.
Yeah. And they're not much of an asshole as I thought they'd be.
And-
I even made friends. I was like, oh, a silver added me. Oh, I'm honored. And then we got to beat other people's asses. And then we got linked up. And the team was under 20 for some reason. The matchmaking was just really screwed up. And
Yeah, but
McCree, being Junkrat's counter, like, hi, McCree, level 2. I was harassing him the whole game. It was like, hi, good day, hi. I was just punching him.
Astra,
I was
hey,
shooting him.
Hey, Astra, it's current year, no harassment. Come on.
He flashbanged me. It's like, hey, good day, hey.
He flashbanged
I got
you? Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He showed me
Artrix-
his
Artrix
pistol
would-
and everything.
look, that's why I call him Mac Rape.
Uh-huh. Because he goes around flashbanging random ladies on
Yeah.
the internet.
You and then he bangs you.
Exactly.
with this 6-shooter.
I'm your Huckleberry.
He must have some great stamina if he can do 6 shots in a row. Just saying. That's actually kind of impressive.
Damn right.
You know, usually a guy after one time, he's kind of spent. Maybe 2 times, 3, but 6 in a row in great succession. Oh my!
But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh well, I'm sure we can play around after this episode or whatever.
Yay!
Yay! Then you'll be rich or not? I don't know.
Well, I'm rich in coins. I got 1,990, 870. I'll get there.
And anyway, let's try and bring up some other topics because I don't think there's much more to discuss about it. Like, well, okay, maybe the May versus Winston mode because, yeah, that's the actual meat of the game, pun intended. But yeah, it's
A
fun.
giant hulking gorilla against a small tiny Chinese lady.
Well, there's 5 of the Chinese ladies, so let's.
It's even. It's an orgy.
Oh.
It's an orgy. It's outright orgy.
I actually think there is a 70s porno like that.
I'm pretty sure there's a 70s porno of just about anything you can imagine. It's like any subject matter you can up with. There's a 70s porn of it. I'm pretty sure there's a 70s porn of Trixie. Even before she existed, there's
Trixie around back then.
That's the thing. She wasn't around, and there's porn of 1970s porn of it.
Well, My Little Pony was around back then, yeah.
Artrix, do you think that's a 1970s porn of a 1917s porn?
No, that's the only thing they don't have. They have everything under the sun, because I'm pretty sure the sun was around in the 1970s. But the 1970s porn in 1970, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's 1970s Symmetra porn out there. You know, Symmetra is like this big afro. He's all orange and shit because it's the 1970s. Of course, he's got body hair all over the place. Like she's still wearing her dress, but she's got such a big bush down there that actually distorts the shape of the dress.
You can't tell her apart from Winston.
Yes, exactly.
You couldn't tell anyone apart from Winston back then.
No,
Holy fuck.
basically everyone was Winston, but not as socially awkward as Winston, fortunately.
Oh fuck.
But yeah, the few times I played so far, it's a nice. It's definitely a lot better than the last time's event because that was essentially just insta-gib, and the one with the fastest reflexes basically wins, and best aim, of course. This new mode actually requires a little bit more aim and actual teamwork.
Teamwork.
Well, teamwork and teamwork. I mean, the teamwork happens after you beat the enemy and just teabagging all over the place, but.
I just put all of my characters in what I have of the Christmas skins into those Christmas skins.
Uh-huh.
So I got Scrooge.
Oh, you got it from last year?
I got it from last year.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna go into a costume game. Yay!
Oh yeah, I remember when May got her legendary for the Christmas event. It was essentially just a reskin.
It seemed like a recolor.
Yeah, it was just a recolor with like the. It was a really dumb skin. I didn't buy
looking
it,
at it now.
but I got it, and it, just dropped randomly. It was like, oh yeah, that's nice, I guess.
I would say that would be an epic at most.
Yes.
but not a legendary. It's just feel like a little reskin.
Yeah.
I will get the full skin up because I'm just looking at the loaded screen at the moment.
But then
Um,
again, now you can get it for reduced price or
can.
whatever.
I
That's
don't waste my points.
yeah. That's the
Where is it?
you know, especially now that we know that you can just get them next year for reduced price. It's even less of a reason to be all
I mean,
bothered.
it's 1,000 coins now. I could buy that right now, but no.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna just wear the abominable because of the Yeti hunt.
That's actually a pretty nice skin. I think I got it.
I like it.
Actually, I think I got it in a random drop too, and
Yeah.
I've been using it ever since. This is a really nice skin.
It's nice and pink. I like it.
Well, I reckon you like pink. You like
I
pink
like pink.
things, do
I
you?
like pink.
Astra, stop enforcing gender stereotypes. Grr.
Pink was a masculine colors in the 1930s.
Yeah, you stole it from us, Astra. You appropriated our colors. How does it make you feel?
Masculine.
Oh,
All right, the Yeti is 1,000 coins. If I don't get that, I might buy it.
but you
That's-
never play Winston.
I don't play Winston. No, who do I
You,
play?
sh-
I
you
play...
should play
No,
Winston,
no,
Astra.
I-
He
I
has
will
no
get-
aim.
Fuck it, I will get Santa Claus instead then. That's a
Oh yeah,
1,000.
you actually main Torbjorn.
I do. He's cool. But when he gets bamboozled, he's fucked. Because he has hardly any while his turret is out, he's pretty fucked because his gun in general is pretty
Hit
mediocre,
and
I'd say.
miss. I mean, you can do some sick damage with it if you actually hit your shots.
Oh yeah. I don't have any aim at all. Why do you think I
You-
made
you
jump
should-
cracks?
You should get good, Astra. Get good.
Get good scrap. Yeah, I'm making this beer jingle. It's fun. Jingle jingle. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, we should probably move to another topic because, well, the arcade mode is the new arcade mode is kind of fun. I'm pretty sure all the strats have been discussed to death. I mean, basically, well, it basically comes down to okay, so you're a main, you're chasing down a Yeti. So before he gets all the meat, which means that if he gets all the meat, he basically becomes near invincible. So what you want to do is hunt him down until he gets the third meat, and after that you just hide.
Yes.
And-
Just run.
Because he's going to get that fourth meat, and if he does and you're around him, you're pretty much dead, and the win condition for Winston is just kill
Winston.
Winston. Well, Winston if he kills all the maze. Or kills 5 maze. So.
In the sense that he will win in an instant.
Well, if the entire enemy team is around him when he ults and he hits them all at once, then yes, the entire enemy is wiped all at once. So basically have a shared pool of lives, and if you manage to get 5 eliminations, it's game over for the mate team. And the goal of the mate team is also pretty obvious, because you just have to kill a Yeti, and then you'll be rich. So what usually happens is, well, at least if you have a somewhat competent team is, so you hunt down a Yeti, he gets to the third piece of meat, you just wait it out, you know, let us do his little rampage, and then when he's back to regular wins, and just hunt him down again. And rinse and repeat until he's dead. Shouldn't be too hard, but then there's always that one idiot that's just sort of standing around him when he ults, and that, you know, he just wastes all your collective lives, and then you're dead and it's game over. So let's bring up something else. A lot has happened this week. I think we should probably start off with the elephant in the room, or should I say the net neutrality in the room, which is of course a repeal of net neutrality. Which
We can't talk about that. We have no Americans here.
That's so true. That
Mostly.
probably because of net neutrality. I mean,
Yeah.
Trigon was just minding his business, enjoying a free and open internet, and then net neutrality came along, and it died, and now he's not allowed on the internet anymore. The ISPs are like, fuck off. We know you're paying for your precious internet connection, but you're not allowed on the internet anymore. So you have to go away now forever.
Now he has to fight bears to connect.
Yes, but the joke's on Comcast. He's already very good at fighting bears, because he's a hardened man in the wilderness. So he's probably fighting bears right as we speak. So yeah, what are your guys' initial thoughts on this whole ordeal?
It sucks for America.
It
The,
does.
the Bajit guy has terrible teeth.
That too.
Like they make 50% of his face.
Hmm. That and it's it's a lot.
Wonder if it will,
Oh, go ahead.
if it will screw us over.
Probably not, since it really only affects Americans, and there's nothing stopping big tech companies from just moving abroad.
It's
Like-
kind of American.
I mean, Google can. I mean, the really big American websites can, they can deal with this. It's the little guys that we gotta worry about, because they don't really have the means to.
4chan.
I don't know about 4chan. They might try and force 4. Well, here's the thing: if they try to fuck around with 4chan, even with all the power they have to essentially just throttle the traffic as they see fit, they might find themselves pretty fucked. Because if you thought Chanology was bad, if you're trying to take down 4chan directly, yeah, I
But
no.
if they take down all the servers,
But they
there's
can
not
take
much how you can fight it.
they can't really take down the servers though. The servers will still be there, and I'm pretty sure 4chan can find a way to get around any sort of ban or throttling that the ISPs may try and do. But
Unless Hiroshima deletes them.
I don't know about that. Can you delete a 4chan? Can you truly delete an Anon?
He can do that.
How? Just press delete? Just like
Yes.
that?
I believe that's in his power.
I don't know about that. I'm
pretty sure you can do that when you own 4chan.
Oh, he's the owner of 4chan. Well, yeah. If you're the owner of 4chan, you can do that, yes. Doesn't how you
What did you
remember
think, Artrix? Did you think that nobody owns 4chan?
Yes, I thought that Anon owned 4chan. Like, absolutely no one. There was never Mood. He never existed.
So
But
now
he was-
How can we even be sure Mood exists?
But despite him never existing, he was always a fag.
That's true. As a matter of fact, he's probably the biggest name fag on 4chan to have ever lived.
Matter of fag.
Oh god, but yeah, I kind of have seen this coming from for a long time. It was bound to happen eventually, because we had to deal with this shit for a few times now.
I mean, constantly.
Yeah, I mean they must have tried to take down net neutrality at least 2 or 3 times by now, and now they got a victory.
But they found a way how to make it so only 5 people vote on it.
Yes, because it's like an FCC issue, isn't it? From what I
Yes.
gather, it's.
I mean, the next time they might
it wasn't actually
make it like only one person votes on it.
because
Flawless.
it wasn't Congress that voted on it. It was just the FCC, which is like
Yes.
just a commission in the United States, which has a fair bit of power since it's basically controlling the way communications work in that country. But I'm pretty sure that if Congress is like, you know what, this shit sucks, they can just, make them not do it. It's like, hey, FCC. If FCC's like, you all man, and like, stop.
You.
The FCC's like, no. It's like, okay, we'll take your funding away. Oh. Okay, we'll stop. But yeah, there's this shit with the FCC and either trying to enforce neutrality or trying to not enforce it, and ISPs trying to, get, ISPs were really trying to get this shit done. It's been going on since at least 2002, like just after Bush got into office, that they've been trying to basically repeal net neutrality, even before it was even a thing. There's this video out there, which was very thorough, that basically outlined this whole process and basically started with one of the ISPs fucking over some customers by throttling their data, and then they were sued and resulted in like this decade-long lawsuit that just ended up with, well, yeah, the FCC's right, and you should not throttle. And then everyone started to argue whether or not the FCC was right, but now it's FCC themselves that's being a bunch of douche canoes. So yeah, shit's complicated, yo.
Well, I witnessed a long discussion in the other Discord of one person against, well, basically everybody else on this topic. And you know what they say, like, small minds discuss people and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully I am such a small mind, so I can discuss this person.
All right.
Wow.
So what did they say?
Apparently this is an amazing thing. Because, apparently internet neutrality doesn't mean internet neutrality. It means that the internet and internet services are cucked.
Uh-huh. That makes no goddamn sense.
Yes, and this discussion was like 2 or 3 hours. It gradually like branched and evolved, and at one point mentioning that, if some random village in the middle of the great Arizonian desert wants internet, well, they are shit out of luck because nobody's going to get the internet there because it's just not profitable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is where I would say, for one thing, have some faith in the people, and if the population really wants something, it can be done. For instance,
this guy was like, it's terrible because the internet is controlled so tightly. It's deemed a utilitarian service, so it can't ever evolve and improve. Then people were like, well, then if it wouldn't be like this, and government wouldn't put those cables there, then these villages in the middle of bumfuck nowhere would never get internet. He's like, yes, and why is that bad? You can live without internet. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else was like, well, not in a first world country.
Nope. It truly has become a situation where not having internet will basically fuck you over.
Without internet, you can't even have a job these days.
Yes.
Indeed. But according to what the person said, he's rich. He's gonna finance it, obviously.
Well,
then it turned out that he actually doesn't even have a fiber. So maybe he's just salty that his regular provider isn't providing fiber. Maybe, I don't know. But I was just thinking, you have this situation right now with neutrality. Then you have a city, and half of it is owned by Comcast, and half of it is owned by Verizon. And from what people told me, apparently the infrastructure is owned by the providers, except for some places where the city itself built it, right?
Yeah.
So now you have them not regulated. So if you want to start your own, yeah, fine, sure, you can do that. But since you are a new company, new startup, and you have to finance it all, and you want to like be a competition to these in the city, because just like this person said, and just like other people say, this allows for competition finally, because you can just start stuff and people are going to go to you when you offer better services for lower prices, maybe even. Well, if you want to start in such a city that's currently almost monopolized, what the fuck can you do? Either you are going to build your own infrastructure independent on these two providers that control the entire fucking city, which will cost so much that you will probably not even have enough money to invest into it in the first place, or you pay the companies that are currently extant so you can use their infrastructure, which kind of defeats the entire purpose.
Well, yes and no, because a similar thing happens over here where, for instance, we got two types of physical infrastructure, which is DSL and cable. So that's basically your only two real options when it comes to choosing what sort of internet you want. Okay, some places also have fiber, but that's really rare still. So you can basically choose between cable and DSL. Fair enough. The thing is that if you want DSL, if you want cable, then yeah, you're pretty much stuck to one provider. Like the cable company in your region is the only one there, and you cannot choose because there's only one. So if you want cable, well, here you go. It's just one company, and they can basically do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
except
and
they
people
can't.
people are complaining that right now in USA it's bad as it is. Yeah, but with non-regulated stuff, it's going to be even worse because it's not like they were actually what the word that they are supposed not to do at all. Talking to each other, so they divide the city into halves and shit.
Huh?
How is that going to be better when they are not regulated on this? It's not. That's the point.
Well,
Because everyone who's new on that market, unless they somehow get the existing infrastructure, is going to go against such wildly bigger odds that, like, how do you even start? It's possible in small towns, I would guess, where the Comcast is like, yes, have internet now, fuck off. We are going to focus on New York now.
yes.
And you can be just like, well, we have Wi-Fi. We just put antenna on this hill, and you all get internet. And yeah, in that case, it might work, but generally, it's going to be pretty fucking difficult.
Yes. But yeah, to finish my point, so you can choose between DSL and cable. And what happens over here is that if you choose DSL, you can actually choose between a wide variety of providers, which will actually, it's where you get the contract and everything, but they'll use the physical infrastructure of KPN, which is like the legacy telephone company that used to be public, but is now privatized, but they're still managing all the
Indeed, that's how it usually works over here.
Yes.
Even like the people who are laying down optics are agreeing with the city because, as I said previously, it's so fucking expensive they don't have money for it. So they are like, hey, town.
So yeah, you have.
What I invest? We are going to give you internet.
So you basically have one company that does the physical building of that physically builds the infrastructure, while others are more about exploiting them, and it's basically like a factory in retail. So
well, kinda. That was at the moment. It was not what I was saying.
Huh?
I was talking about the independent guys, who, as I said, have no money to actually pull a full city scale infrastructure. So they are like, yes, town, we will give you internet. It's going to be good internet, including fibers. Just give us money, and usually they give them money, and then they make good internet, including fibers, and everybody's kind of happy, at least. But that's the independent ones. If you have DSL, as you mentioned, yes, that's infrastructure that's been like owned through years by many companies, usually like the state telecom and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
now I wonder, by the way, as far as USA go, when is someone going to think about using air connections, like the mobile stuff?
4G. Yeah, but here's the thing. They're also subject
Wait,
to...
let me finish the thing. So, DSL, right? It's been owned by many companies, like at least 5 throughout the history, until they kind of consolidated all those bits and put them under a separate company. And now all those providers are exactly just that, a provider. They're like, okay, you give us money, we give you a IP address. but the infrastructure itself is taken care of by a completely different company. That's probably owned by the state as stuff goes like this. Yes. As for 4G, actually I am running on 4G right now.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yes, I have Wi-Fi. Also, it's the only way I can get a slightly faster internet than I had before.
Don't you have data caps on your connection?
No, Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's-
I would
that's-
not come near. I wouldn't even look at the phone number if it was this. I would have just taken the web page, printed it, and burned it.
Well, that sounds pretty good because I recently came across an ad for 4G internet and it was like I think you had a 100 gigabyte download limit or day limit.
Oh yeah, that they do that, especially with satellite internet. It's like, why do you even have satellite internet? It's fucking expensive, and there's 20 gigs data cap for a month. What is that? How am I supposed to use that? I will use it on YouTube during the first 5 days.
Also, that latency is not gonna make you happy either. So
It's not really for games. It's for like, oh no, I'm standing in the bush and there are cannibals behind this rock. I need to get out of here.
I really gotta send that email.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of the Sahara Desert, but I really have to send that email to customer service.
Like, you go to water.com and order some water, and they airdrop it next to you.
Well, it's the early 2000s, right? Like we're about to cross into the new millennium, and we're living in we have the super information highway. So even if you're in the desert, you can just go to your website that will deliver for free within 2 hours anywhere in the world. Trust me, you guys, there's absolutely going to be no .com boom, not at all. It's gonna be perfect forever.
Yes. Well,
and then the .com bubble bursted.
See, apparently Artrix, this 4G stuff without limits is a new thing that they started this year, or at least over here. And originally it was like, yes, you get 4G and you get some limits, and it's really retarded and nobody wants it. And then they were like, well, I guess actually it was O2. We're like, well, for those people who have low connections, low speed connections, or DDSL, or who can't get them, which is sort of me, because I mean, Artrix, you would agree that 3 megabytes or rather megabits or 5 megabits per second, which I got upgraded to after 9 years, after I asked them, and it was kind of unstable in the evenings.
Oh,
that's not much of a high speed, is it?
I wouldn't even find that satisfactory on my phone. And my phone...
Artrix. Every kind of internet of any speed is shit at the phone just because it's a phone. Anyway, yes. So I was like, well, maybe I should ask them, because their caveat was that only people with such slow speeds and shit are allowed to do that, because apparently 4G is precious. It's a non-renewable resource, Artrix. Then there was like T-Mobile, and it's like, yeah, whoever wants can order this. Also, we offer 50 megs tariff, unlike these people who only offer 20 megs tariff, like 20 down, 2 up, and T-Mobile was like 20 down, 5 up. So I was like, yes, well, in any case, I'm going to T-Mobile. Then I was at T-Mobile, and it sort of works mostly. It dropped a few times the first week or two, but ever since then it's solid. So I have this box screwed on the side of my house, and the technician didn't bother to, affix the cable to the side of the house, so I had to do that part myself, but at least I have internet now.
GG.
Yes, the latency is comparable to
landline. So let me get it straight. So you have this box to the side of your house. It's essentially just a 4G
yes,
router.
It's a big ass 4G.
So you basically have like a big phone just taped to your house, because it's essentially what it is.
Look, Artrix, it has LEDs on the bottom that tell me how strong the Wi-Fi signal is. It's at 4. Right now it dropped to 3 and went back to 4. I don't know what it was, probably a bird. It's 4 out of 5, which is pretty decent. It allows 20. If it was 5, I would probably get 50. Because, I mean, the people who I called at first were like, well, maybe you could get 50, I think. And then the technician was like, well, I bet this guy was in Prague and has no idea what's the situation.
But yeah, in your case, it sounds like there's actually some market forces in play here. Like you actually could choose between providers, and you were actually able to choose one that was able to give you satisfactory internet.
Oh, yes. I mean, it was O2's fault that they. It was O2's fault that they treat 4G like if it was a non-renewable resource.
Yeah.
It was very precious. You can get those download speeds because I don't know, people in Africa would starve or something.
Well, to be perfectly fair, if you're maintaining a 4G network, which you had to invest a lot of money into to set up anyway, so you have a lot of costs to recoup, and you're in a big city that has a shit ton of demand for data, I can kind of see where they're coming from. But if
I'm not, and I do not care.
Yes,
usually
exactly.
People who use 4G are on fucking phones, and you know what phones have? Limits. I don't have limits.
Yeah,
phones can fuck themselves. The internet on phones is such an unbelievably old concept. This is actually, yes, phones. Internet on phones, this is exactly what we have, what America has. We have 5 providers, and they are in a state of lockdown. They are not changing prices. They are barely changing their tariffs. And we've been at data caps from forever. This is not the 90s anymore. Why do I have to have data caps? It's like new, fast, mega tariff internet, and it's like 10 gigabytes of data. What the fuck are you? That's like 5 YouTube videos or half a game. What?
You mean like mobile internet?
Yes.
Like
what am I supposed to do with that? That's barely going to load a lolcat.
Well, if you're on your phone, or at least in my experience, and you just occasionally look up shit, like you're on Google.
Yes, it's Artrix, but
whatnot.
The thing costs like a internet that has no limit. That's the thing. And if you were like extra mega limits that are beyond your wildest needs, like 60 gigs, then you are going to pay 4 times what I pay.
Yeah.
Like what? No, it's like
Yeah, but in your case, there is not really much of an alternative too. So they're basically it's basically your it's your cable replacement, so to speak. And they seem to have realized that, like, hey, these guys are sitting here in the woods. They have no broadband, and we've got this awesome.
How about
4G
we do
network.
something sensible for once and offer them internet that has a different business model than we had in year 85.
Yes.
Actual 85, like 50 years after Jesus died.
We're actually starting to see data plans in Netherlands for mobile phones. So not just your, not the situation you're describing, but just, internet on your phone as you go, and it's truly unlimited.
Yes, a reasonable version of that.
So
what I kind of liked were those tiny dongle shits that you put into your laptop, and it was like, yes, you have internet now, and you could bring it with you. Of course, those had data caps. So,
and it
proposition:
costs you arm and a leg.
make this shit niggle thing, and make it without limits, and plug it into your phone, and then come home and plug it into your computer. Problem solved. Yes, that's good. I mean, ideally, you would have an antenna like I have and a modem, and that shit you would carry with you. Like the modems. I mean, the antenna itself has a SIM card in it. If they rewrote it into modem, you could just take it out, put it into the USB shit, take it with you, put it into your phone. Problem solved. That would be ideal. Nobody does that, obviously, for obvious reasons. Also, with the antennas that are working on 4G, you know what was the fun part? Apparently, some people took them and just brought them over to the summer house or something, so they didn't have to pay for the internet.
Well,
ironically,
that's actually kind of sensible.
The first reaction was like, "Oh no, this is heresy," and then they were very unhappy with those people. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they were straight canceling their contracts or were just fining them, but it was generally frowned upon. The fun part is that the technician told me that I can absolutely do this if I unscrew it. He was not very clear if it was legal or not, but he said I could do that in theory.
Well, I suppose they could geo block you from. It's actually quite simple. They can set up your modem to only connect to very specific antennas. So if you would try and go somewhere else, you would be out of range and you wouldn't be able to use it. They could do that, but that would probably be more expensive than just taking the risk of you actually doing that. And they're like, oh, whatever, we lost the tenor, but that is still cheaper than trying to block you from using other antennas. That just the theory, a game theory. HMM.
Yes, that's
Anyway,
generally what I was saying.
we should probably go back to the situation in America because because they
unlike
obviously
what the
don't
person
have.
said, it's not good.
I don't like it, and I don't think it's gonna be good. For one thing,
Well, obviously.
for one thing, it's actually quite contrary to the American mythos of competition and whatnot, because
it does not exist in America.
Oh, no, Artrix. The people who are actually for that are absolutely saying that it's totally in line with the competition, because essentially now everybody can do whatever. And obviously they are going on about this invisible hand of the market.
Well, that would work if there was actual competition, and there's not.
But since there's monopolies already, as I previously said, it's going to be really fucking hard to come up with a new competition.
Yes, because
and now the existing providers can just fuck you over backwards, and I mean they were fucking people backwards and shit as it was these regulations.
Yep, which
They
basically just put into force by basically just bribing politicians. Like, hey, we'll give you some money.
It's called lobbying, Arctic,
yes,
and it's perfectly legal.
Especially in America, which is one of the weirdest.
Just sponsoring your campaign a bit.
Yeah.
Just like the Saudis did with Hillary, except it's Russian hackers who did all the bad things.
Yes, it wasn't. Sorry, it's always the Russians. Always.
Everybody who I don't like is Russian hackers.
That was certainly a funny meme. .exe.
It's a children's book, Artrix.
Yes.
Yes. So, also, that one person was saying that, and other people were saying. I mean, I did show you some of the brilliant articles I found. Then you should stop whining, because it's going to be just fine. And here's 5 reasons why. Obviously.
For those 3.
Yes. So some people say that it's all Obama's fault, that before there were no such regulations and everything was just fine. Well, it wasn't fine. And the regulations might not have been there, but it was very questionable if it was actually legal or not. So the companies are like doing it, but kind of shush about it. They're not actually doing it.
These legal battles have been going on even during.
Yes,
they've been going on since the Bush era.
Artrix. My point is, before they were regulated, these things were of questionable legality. So the companies were doing them, but covertly, not really talking about them or presenting them much. They were just doing their thing and censoring shit. And now that it's officially dropped, the regulations, are officially dropped, which means that whatever they've been doing before, maybe shady, maybe not, is definitely not shady anymore because it's legal, because there are no regulations. The companies are just going to go into overdrive. And by companies, obviously, I mean Comcast and Verizon, because those are the biggest ones. I mean, they did that in 2000s. That there was the whole thing about disabling Bluetooth, and then there were that whole ringtone battle. Then there was AT&T, which is a terrible name for a guy. At least name it AT&T, and just tell people, have it known that you are actually working for the empire, AT&T, and have those walkers around and just being like, I think I'm downloading something we don't like. We are going to purge your house now.
And then
Oh,
you'll
they,
be
they
rich.
they prevented Skype from working on iPhones, and
Yep.
then there was more Comcast,
you
which
might-
started
you might-
peer-to-peer, so nobody could properly download.
I
torrent.
think we may have watched the same video. It certainly
Yes.
sounds like it.
Maybe Artrix, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe
But
I
yeah.
maybe I posted a condensed version with the timeline before.
Maybe, but
I mean, you
I
know,
definitely
the
know what your-
peer-to-peer thing was really fun because
Uh-huh.
it happened in early 2000s.
oh yeah.
So it was mostly like influencing torrents and shit. But nowadays, lots of people, especially games, use peer-to-peer, which I fucking hate because it's terrible. Before I could just fucking download a patch, let it sit on my hard drive, activate it, and install it, and put it on my CD, just in case something nuclear goes off in my computer and I survive, and I have a generator and I want to play games and I need to patch them for some reason. Now I have to go and fucking download it with the glorified torrent client. But just pirate it, honestly. Yes, so I don't quite like that. But if it happened today, the peer-to-peer thing, maybe more people would notice that it's not something that's completely good, because suddenly now you can properly download shit because you connect like to people.
And especially now that no neutrality, so companies can be like,
And
no
then you had like Obama, and it actually didn't stop AT&T from throttling speed on unlimited data plans. I mean, it's unlimited, right? So you don't need speed.
It is unlimited.
Yeah, you have no cap. You don't need to download stuff quickly. You can wait.
You can wait. Just leave your computer on. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and then they just did stuff as usual, throttling speed in general, even on limited data plans, and being like, yeah, maybe you should upgrade, or and charging extra for services that should be like integrated, especially on phones. And I don't know what else. Oh, they were blocking tethers.
Yep.
So
that they were doing
tethers,
that too.
or however you read that. Ergo, you
basically
cannot
where
turn your
you-
phone
into a modem.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I tried to do that once on my phone. It worked just fine. It was
And
great.
obviously they did it with Netflix too.
Yeah, I think Netflix is even paying some ISPs, even under the current, regulations.
Netflix in itself,
yeah.
Netflix is just fine, Artrix.
Well, they'll probably just pay up the money that the ISPs demand.
Well, yes, obviously, because Netflix as a company is just like having movies on servers, right? That's it. That's perfectly okay. But those data from those movies have to sometimes get to you, and it just turns out that those people who are responsible for those data getting to you can now do anything they want with them.
Like accidentally forgetting about them. Like
Accidentally dropping half of your packages.
We accidentally dropped your package. Why don't you use our streaming service? It's so much more stable.
Yes.
So yeah,
before YouTube becomes a provider.
But
It'll be great. Watch YouTube Red on YouTube Net.
We'll see how this pans out. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more legal battles and whatnot to emerge from this. I'm pretty sure we haven't heard last of this.
Maybe Pajit is going to make more videos. I watched one. It was absolutely brilliant.
Who made more videos?
I don't know. He made one. It was like, don't worry. Internet neutrality is not necessary to make photos of your food. Because that's what everybody uses internet for, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you need it for work and school and communication with anybody who's not standing next to you.
No, you just need to make pictures of your food, obviously.
And Harlem Shake, obviously, Artrix.
Yeah. But related...
why would you do Harlem Shake? Gangnam Style is objectively superior.
One flip side of the whole net neutrality thing is that the regressive left is losing its shit as well, because they kind of are getting
Look, Artrix, this is the internet. No matter if you want to kill all Jews or kill all Jews, No matter if you are on the left or on the right, everybody likes porn, except for feminists, I guess, but that's beside the point.
That depends on what kind of feminist you are. I mean, if you're sex positive, then maybe. If you're sex negative, then fuck no.
Yes, so that's for you, like Christians and
Yes.
feminists, same thing.
But now they suddenly realize, oh no, if I'm being censored, that means I'm being censored. It's so terrible.
It's about me!
It's about me now. Oh dear. All this time we were trying to ban people from the internet, and now we're the ones that could potentially end up being censored by the ISPs.
I thought they were planning to use this to censor everyone.
Yeah, that was our idea. Get away, FCC. If we can't censor people, then nobody can censor people. Go find your own plaything.
Isn't FCC already their bitch?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they're actually. Actually, what does the FCC regulate? Just the actual communications, or does it also? Well, I do remember it also regulates content of media. So maybe they are in cahoots with the regressive left. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, I tried to I tried to put forward to metaphors, similes. Well, I mean, you know, if you are right or if you are on left, it doesn't matter. Everybody likes porn. I tried 2 of those, and none of them worked. So most people on the internet like to do the same kind of shit with the internet, no matter what kind of color they are arguing about at the moment. So naturally, this would piss them off, because if you can't get to the internet, then you can't argue about stuff on the internet. Not even Twitter's gonna save you. Twitter can't block FCC, unfortunately.
Yeah, so my point still stands. They're getting they're getting a dose of their own medicine, because you know the Twitters and the Reddits and the Facebooks, they're doing all this.
Yeah, I'm just saying that people of all political, well, not all, not all political stripes, are sort of united, except, you know, they are not perceiving it as united exactly, because there's small, unimportant differences.
Yes.
But in general, they want the internet to be free to do its internet stuff.
So yeah, we might actually have the political clout to get something done, or at least in America, because over here we can't really do jack shit. We can just watch and also worry about our own goddamn issues, like, I don't know, the EU doing something stupid. What's the EU trying to do this week?
Currently, the EU is too busy fighting itself.
Okay. Well, in other news, let's move over to Netherlands, because something retarded happened, and this time it's on the right side, on the right of the political spectrum.
Oh, Artrix, apparently we had Wilders and Le Pen visit us in Prague.
Oh,
and speaking of Czech Republic, apparently people are now bootlegging wine.
What do you mean now?
Bootleg wine.
What do you mean now? We've been bootlegging wine for the entire history of us having vineyards. Just any guy can go to his garden and pick wine and then stomp on it a bit and then have wine in, like, I don't know.
Okay. I now want you guys to go to your borders and put down a sign. So you drive into Czechia and it says Czechia bootlegging wine since forever.
Artrix.
What?
A, Czechia is not how you call it. B, the Czech part is on the opposite side of where Slovakia is. C, wine is traditionally made in Moravia. You are wrong on all the accounts.
No, you guys decided to call yourselves Czechia.
Those were the guys in Prague. They are basically German Artrix.
I'm still going to do it, even if it's just to piss you off. And,
you are also German, so it's acceptable.
Well, I'm not. That's the thing. I'm distinct.
We're right next to Germany.
Well, yeah, we're
and
distinct.
your language has too many R's.
we
You are basically German,
we
Artrix.
are distinctly not German because we are our own nation. The Germans tried to make us German. They tried really hard.
Artrix. This is exactly what the guys in Prague are saying.
Yes, but they're wrong.
Exactly.
And we're not. So
That's also what they say.
checkmate atheists.
Yes.
Anyway,
Bootleg
I was trying to segue into a topic, and incidentally, this is about the PvP in Wilbers. Well, more specifically, the municipal party of the PvP in the city of Rotterdam, or The Hague. Now, it was this municipal division in Rotterdam. So they're going to join the municipal elections and whatnot, and apparently one of the dudes that they put on the election sheet thingy on the ballot,
TEE selection.
he was an actual Nazi.
Ah.
So GGWP no re PVV for
Jesus
For-
Christ, man.
for putting an actual Nazi on your ballot. So of course they instantly banned that guy. They were like, no, that's not cool, man. Not cool. GTFO. So
Did
kicked
you
him
know
out.
Nazis are bad people?
Yes.
Plus they
Jellies-
didn't.
They thought they were just fine. But yeah, the PV kicked them out. I was still going to vote for them, so fuck off. Well, that was uneventful. But yeah,
About the whole thing with the wine, by the way.
uh-huh.
It's different now is that the thing is even really wine. Like, they make these spirituals out of potatoes
Yes.
and they dilute it with water, artificial coloring and flavoring, and call it wine.
That almost sounds like something that America would do. No offense to America. Except really.
So yeah, bootleg wine. Enjoy it.
Though to be fair, apparently Californian wine's pretty good. I'm not really much of a wine person, so I wouldn't know. But
Also, African wines are actually pretty fine.
well, I might want to check that out sometime. But first, I'm going to go to Italy and enjoy some fine Italian wine while I'm there. It's gonna be great. Anyway, I don't think there's much we can say about net neutrality. Like it
We talked about it for 45 minutes, Artrix.
exactly. So
Like most of the stream was dedicated to it.
yeah. So I don't think we have much. Astra, do you have anything to add to this? Do you like net neutrality, Astra?
Do you?
Well, the asshole who made a cringy YouTube video about it because the court agreed to it. Yeah, he's an asshole, and he used fidget spinners that makes you instantly an asshole.
An autist.
Yes, an
It's
autist.
like it's like you watch the video and it's like, wait, what? Stop the video.
Wait,
In hands?
So hold
Oh
on,
no,
hold on,
he's
because
retarded.
I haven't watched that video. So you're saying that there wasn't
It
dude.
was a video to rub it in because everybody was going against him. It's like, haha, you didn't
Wait,
get what you wanted.
Artrix, are you saying there are more videos than that?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure there was one big video and he was talking about Instagramming food and buying fidget spinners online, which it's like, oh no, I can't be even mad at this man. He's clearly mentally deficient.
Uh-huh. That was probably the case. If
That's
And
just
fidget
being a-
spinners, Artrix.
I like fidget spinners,
Are-
ironically.
You are also mentally deficient.
No,
Also.
no, no, no,
Or
no.
as-
Hold
as-
on,
as
hold
we
on.
said-
I'm
as we
going
said
to
in the
stop
internet
you
back in my
right
day, Artrix, you are
there.
retarded.
I'm going to stop you right there and say that I do it ironically. The exit, okay?
Sure.
I bet you also ironically fuck the guys.
No, no. one does not ironically fuck. Look. I'm not.
And that's not ironic.
Look, I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those frat boys who's in college and he goes up to a bunch of guys, just starts
Just
to
fucks
grab.
him and says, "No homo."
No. Come on, Astra. Come on. There's a little bit of a build up to that. Okay. No. You start off by saying, "Let me touch your butt." No homo. And then you start to kiss him on the cheek, and you're like, no homo. And you start to do French kissing, you're like, no homo, or at least as long as you're able to say it, of course. You have to, it's a very special technique. You have to do it in such a way. And then you start to fuck them in the ass, and you still say no homo. And that's how frat boys engage in homosexual sex.
Well, Artrix, you definitely sound very experienced on the matter.
I've read one single comic, and that's where I got the joke from. And you guys probably read the exact same comic.
I think so.
Yeah. It's a very funny comic, though. No homo.
It was also about how to post on 4chan at some point.
Yes. I mean, I'm drawing Trixie, no homo. Well, literally.
Wait. Why are you drawing Trixie? Didn't we agree upon you drawing Trigon as one of the KFC cores?
No, we didn't agree on that. That's something you made up in your mind.
Okay, well then we agreed on it about as much as we agreed on having this on Saturday, Artrix.
Yes. Anywho, do we have? Well, I'm pretty sure we have topics left to discuss.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Oh, well, Sekele didn't really have a chance to say anything, so go ahead
Yes,
and
fix
bring
your
up.
sound and talk.
Go ahead and bring up a topic.
Well, say something.
There,
Suspenseful silence.
hear me?
I think
we
he
can
might
hear
be
you.
trying to talk.
Me.
We're all here. We were all ears, Sekele.
Wow. We.
Well, apparently Disney now owns The Simpsons.
Oh, this is true. You know, it's interesting that I mean you are going to talk about this in more detail. It's interesting they did this thing that you are going to talk about just in time for the neutrality to disappear. It makes the thing makes those jimmies rustle a bit.
It's like, could it be that these completely unrelated events are related?
Related.
About creating a media monopoly.
Well, Disney is pretty much on its way to becoming a gigantic media conglomerate, more than it already is. It's actually kind of scary.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. I mean, Disney was
imagine
already.
Artrix,
Go ahead.
Artrix, imagine how bad Simpsons are.
Yes.
And now imagine that they are going to go even more down in quality because Disney is going to produce, well, basically Simpsons the sequel trilogy.
Or you're gonna get situations like, okay, so you're watching The Simpsons, and then Mickey Mouse visits. It's like, oh, I'm Mickey Mouse, and you're Homer. XDD, so funny. And that's the entire episode.
Artrix, if this happened in Simpsons in the 90s, he'd be brutally clubbed to death.
Yes. But, you know, that wouldn't happen in this episode because,
This problem is this isn't the sort of thing that will happen.
Oh, why is that?
Look at what happened with Marvel. After
I don't want to.
Bought Marvel gradually turned to utter shit. And it didn't turn into utter shit because Disney would interfere with them, but because Disney kept supporting them whatever bullshit they did. Like, from that point onward, Marvel can create complete garbage that nobody will ever buy, but they won't experience any consequences for it because Disney just keeps giving them money, and they have no more motivation to produce quality content anymore because Disney will take care of it. Disney will take care that they will always get money simply for existing.
But that also means that since Disney's apparently pumping money into shit and doing it quite consistently, there's gotta be a turning point. This can't go on forever.
Well, if there is one,
Decades. And imagine the situation
I mean,
when Disney owns absolutely everything,
It's
or
a-
their share is so huge that they
This
have
point
no
is not
real
coming.
competition.
A great
so
post with this timeline
There is absolutely no
to
motivation
predict
to
for
produce quality content again.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's gonna be a point where people are just so tired of. I mean, just think of the way Netflix, for instance, has completely turned around the media landscape. Like, Netflix is actually creating content now.
Disney
that-
will buy them too.
Yeah.
At the point people get tired, they will have absolutely no choice whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Disney might actually find itself buying so many properties to a point where people just get tired of it. I don't know.
The point they get tired, there will be no other alternative in existence.
Well, all I can say about that is, yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. I definitely don't look at Disney's as fondly as I used to. I mean, Disney's already been a really big conglomerate. Or, okay, to be fair, it wasn't really in the 1980s. So I guess I lived through a time when it was still relatively obscure. Well, obscure in the sense that it was just a studio and not this big media empire. Well, those times have definitely changed. I mean, look at what they did to Star Wars. It's basically become this. It's become how to word this correctly. Well, that, and it's like a production line. They just have a production line that just churns out Star Wars movies.
well, obviously that's what's happening.
It went from, okay, you get Star Wars is basically dead, and then, oh my god, we're gonna get a new trilogy, and it's like everyone was
Artrix,
excited because
you
it
know,
was rare
you know
and
well
shit.
what happens when a company with money happens upon something that's even remotely popular. You get 60,000 copies of it.
Well, yeah,
Suck.
well, during the time,
Of course they do. I mean, they try to play it as safe as possible with the episode with the mouth-breathing lady and the black stormtrooper.
oh yeah,
just
they
copied episode 4.
they essentially stole exactly the same story, which was actually what really put me off from the movie.
Except this time the person in rags was Mary Sue instead of a hapless bystander. Which was the good thing about Luke. He had no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah.
He started getting grip of things by the second movie.
And that's the thing about the original trilogy. Like, it is clear that Luke Skywalker had no fucking clue what he was doing. Like, he was a real fucking person trying to just stumble through the whole ordeal.
Yes, one day you are farming moisture on your desert planet, and the next day you are with a fucking Yeti in a spaceship flying around at hyperspeed.
Well, farming moisture in the desert. In space.
Yes, it's a space desert.
Yeah. So it's so yeah, the new movie, you know, I watched in cinemas because there was still Star Wars movies, or you go to the cinemas and you're sitting there like, I didn't hate it. It was pretty alright.
Well,
But
at least you liked it. Unlike certain Mark Hamill, who was speechless.
He didn't like it. He didn't like.
He hates it.
But
He
this-
can say it openly, but from the interviews, he fucking hates it.
But wait a minute.
And
this is-
it turns out
Oh, go ahead.
that Harrison Ford was right.
In what regard?
Well, originally when the movies were shot, he wanted Han Solo to die
Oh, okay. But yeah, that didn't.
because that would give the character weight. And incidentally, it would prevent cheap stuff being built on top
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, you can't.
They made
salvage-
it. They made it anyway, and then they killed him. I hope he was at least pleased. Like at least I don't have to play.
Oh,
in this.
but Xaverius, here's why he was killed off in the last movie. Because you see it's a symbol of the old cis het white baby boomer generation dying out and making way for the strong independent women with a Y.
Ah! Such thing doesn't exist.
Well, also,
Exactly. So they have
if
to
you didn't
go.
notice, Rey is a mouth breather. She can even sort out her own breathing.
Well,
But she
that-
can pilot. She can pilot Millennium Falcon because she lived on a scrapyard. Wait, what?
Well, obviously that's why Han Solo had to die because he was just taking the spotlight from her.
I mean, do you think whoever wrote that part of the movie knew that Millennium Falcon is, well, originally a normal freighter, extremely heavily modified ship that was owned by at least 3 people, and each one of them added their own modifications over the years?
But yeah, Rey was instantly able to pilot flawlessly.
My father, who by the way is not a big Star Wars fan, but was mostly okay with the previous 6 movies, finally saw this The Force Awakens.
Hmm.
Obviously. I mean, look at all the actors. Hamill fucking hates it, even though he can say.
I think
I
Sekele still-
imagine Harrison Ford also hates it because I mean he wanted Han Solo to die originally, so maybe the Han Solo dying in this movie was actually his agenda. Who knows? And Carrie Fisher just died. It's just like no, I'm not, no.
I won't be in this movie. I'm going to die to death, and then no one can cast
Just
me.
to spite you.
Yes. Anyway, I think Sekele was still saying something, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Can't hear him.
Something,
Well, what have you heard me saying?
something about your dad and having watched the movies and having seen the new movie.
Yeah, I have.
Typing.
Didn't you hear me? I basically said that yes, my father, even though he was not a big Star Wars fan, but he liked the first 6 movies.
Huh?
He saw The Force Awakens and he freaking hated it.
Oh.
Oh, I heard that part.
Then I guess I just missed it. But so he hates it. Okay. Well, that I can kind of see that. It's mostly just that it's just the first movie. There's no way that you can go around that.
Only
just
that
took-
he said that it lacked everything that made the first movie entertaining. Like it was just a soulless action scene. Harrison Ford knew how to act. Everyone was suddenly perfect. Like Luke Skywalker was originally completely clueless
Yeah.
about
That-
what was going on.
Actually-
But these guys immediately know everything.
Yes, I did explain the part with Rey. Obviously,
Yeah.
she knew all the internal modifications of Millennium Falcon because she was living on a scrapyard. Duh, it's metal.
Well, here's the thing. The interesting thing about the new movie is that they were obviously propping up the chick to be like the big lead and like, oh yeah, we have a female lead and it's so progressive and blah blah.
You know they did that in Rogue One too, and then they realized that people don't like it, and then they cut it down heavily, and then she just came across as bland because they kind of took out most of the strong leadership
Yes.
scenes.
Anyway, the interesting thing about that is that Flynn was the most interesting character in that movie. I was far more concerned about what happened to Flynn and the interactions
Oh, yeah.
he had with all the
Yeah.
other characters than.
I mean, the
Rey.
very idea of a stormtrooper going rogue is kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
The very idea of a stormtrooper activating a lightsaber and not immediately cutting himself in half is very unbelievable to me.
But that makes him an interesting character. You're like, okay, so he was a stormtrooper. He decided not to be stormtrooper anymore, and he's doing all this stuff.
I can agree on that, but then suddenly he's like waving a lightsaber around, and you're like, oh, it's a Mary Sue, just
dude,
like Rey.
we're comparing this dude to the actual protagonist of the film, which is basically like, I am a chick and I'm
Yes,
very
but
talented.
Artrix, the point is nobody should, unless they have years of Jedi training, be able to wield a lightsaber without quartering themselves.
Yes,
Because that shit has no feedback. It's just a stick you wave around.
Yes, that's why I was so puzzled that he was just able to do it. So I definitely get your point there. But
And by stick, I mean the hilt of it.
from a narrative point
It's
of
a tiny
sense,
stick that can kill you at a meter and a half.
from a narrative point of view, that was ironically the most interesting thing about the movie, to see Flynn go about doing his business instead of what we are supposed to be rooting for, which is Rey. Rey's story is boring.
The person who never used a lightsaber killing a Sith guy, who, while being a complete emo tard, arguably is a Sith guy and probably has some experience using that sword. Then again, he was so emo that maybe that's just like what they do.
Oh yeah, the main protagonist of the movie is a whiny little bitch. God damn.
I mean, antagonist.
The antagonist, the bad guy.
Yes.
He's
The guy with the mask that looks like Jaden Smith's forehead.
yes. It's a dumb design. I don't like it.
It's like, how can be the dark side real if Force isn't real?
It doesn't look like a 1980s car enough.
Also, some people were complaining about how they changed Han.
Oh, did they change Han?
Well,
Han
Han
yeah.
Han was basically a space skeptic.
Huh?
You know, when he met Obi-Wan Kenobi, was like, yeah, fuck off with your religion. You are crazy and old. And then in the new movie, it's like, yeah, it's all true. Just believe it.
Just believe it. Ooh.
In defense of this, he did actually see the Force being used.
Yes.
But
He
this
saw
is,
some shit.
though there was a this is prequel, isn't it? Or no, it's a sequel of the it's a sequel.
I would call it a fanfiction, Artrix.
Well, yeah, true, fair enough. But yeah, now that we call the episode number, yeah, it's pretty much a sequel of everything, just about everything we've seen so far. So he has seen the Force, so that would make sense, I guess.
And then he broke up with Leia.
Well, hold on. Didn't he broke up with Layla by dying, or did he break up before that?
In the movie they are kind of cold towards each other.
Yeah, but they were still kind of...
People did complain about it too. It's like you are waiting 40 years to see them back together again, and now they are semi-divorced. What is this?
Well, obviously that's another metaphor for, the baby boomers are, it's all falling apart, you guys. It's all up to us millennials now. But
Wait, what?
Yes.
Kill all millennials.
Wait, what?
Yes.
what I'm
Look,
saying is that
Astra, you have to understand that the millennials are going to save Galaxy.
by not having children, obviously.
Well,
Yes.
well, no.
The-
Obviously, Artrix, you know the romantic line in this movie is the black guy and the pilot.
Wait, there's
There's
a
also a
romantic
guy.
line in this movie?
Well, according to some people, between the traitor and the pilot, what was his name? Poe?
Something like that.
Physically young Han Solo.
God damn it, don't fucking spoil it
yes,
for
the-
me.
Wait, but
This is-
that's from the...
Movie.
That's not from the new movie.
Oh, is it?
We're talking about episode 7. You've seen
Oh.
episode 7, haven't you?
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
like
episode 7.
2 years ago, 2015.
I don't- Episode 7, Artrix is correct.
So, yeah. In other words, I'm kind of looking to end this episode because, well, yeah, this is And exactly then I received
The
messages on
worst
phone.
thing about the my connection crept a bit.
Mine,
The worst thing about
yeah, your connection is crapping out quite
they
a bit.
threw out the What?
Your connection is crapping out a little bit. It must be that net neutrality.
It must be. I mean, it shows 50 milliseconds. That should be reasonable. I don't know what's going on.
It's a
Well,
Russian.
now it says 91 millisecond as
Oh, yeah.
average, but it's 50 actually. What is this?
What's this? I
know.
don't understand.
Yes,
Anyway,
but- As I said before,
uh-huh.
it was why Disney was throwing out the expanded canon, the expanded universe, because that had a lot of interesting things. I mean, it had Kyle Katarn, the guy who originally stole the Death Star plans,
Uh-huh.
who was possibly the only reasonable Jedi ever, because when he was starting with his Jedi powers and found himself tempted by the dark side, you know what he did?
He was tempted by the dark side.
Well, he was like, okay, this is dangerous. I'm going to relinquish my Jedi powers.
Oh,
And then he did.
and then he was no Jedi anymore.
Exactly. He was the most reasonable dude, the exact opposite of Anakin.
Then again, why would you want to be a Jedi? It's like, okay, I have all these cool superpowers and shit, and then the Jedi Council's like, yeah, you have to do shit for us now. You're like, what the fuck? I never signed up for this. You're
Is
like,
it
yeah.
even possible to relinquish those powers?
Well, there was a big force toaster.
Midichlorians, dude.
No Artrix, bad Artrix. This was a big force toaster because there was an ancient Jedi ruin, and it was in the temple that Luke was a master at. Yes, Luke was a Jedi master, and he taught people. That was cool. And then Kyle went and restored his Jedi powers because some Sith kidnapped his friend. It was like, well, I gotta save her, I guess. And it was all a plan to guide that Sith to that temple and use that force toaster to improve his force powers. But Kyle was like, no, and stabbed him with lightsaber, and the Sith died. And that's what you do in games. But he was still a very cool guy. And then there was that whole thing with Palpatine. I don't know if you know about the thing with Palpatine.
Well, he was kind of a douche canoe. That's why.
Well, yes, but turns out that he was united the galaxy under vast military power because he was preparing for a invasion of aliens out of the galaxy. He was like, well, he saw them coming in some years. He was like, well, fuck. They're going to eat us all if we don't do something about it.
We're gonna be absorbed into even larger galactic empire.
Well, more like killed.
Yeah, killed, being captured, same thing, I guess. I mean, one is a bit more drastic than the other, but...
I was like, I don't like this. If they eat me, I can't be a galactic dictator. Better just unite the entire fucking galaxy and fight them.
And unite he did, or something like that. Or
Well, he didn't because some farm kid fucked everything up, Artrix.
Yeah. And Jar Jar Binks, he was involved. No, really, he was like part of this whole governmental structure at one point. He was just walking around.
I mean that's the theory of some people who are trying to make the prequels a bit more bearable. That Jar Jar Binks is actually the main villain. And after he got into the parliament, he manipulated everybody, including Palpatine.
George Lucas did say at a point that Jar Jar is the key to everything.
George Lucas is changing his opinion on his movies every 3 days. Every time Star Wars are, well, not anymore since it's Disney's, but before, every time it was re-released on some new media, the movies were changed and edited.
Yep. I mean, you can't even get the master tape anymore because
and he himself
really...
himself explained some stuff differently than before, including the whole stuff with Darth Vader, who originally probably wasn't even Luke's father. He was just a cool, menacing guy with a helmet.
There's
everybody liked him. So Lucas was like, okay, let's make him important. Do it now.
There's so much stuff going on. So the scene is so dense. So many things going on at once. My God.
Yeah.
That wasn't George Lucas that said that, but it's still a terrible quote.
See, Artrix, apparently in the first movie, Darth Vader has like 14 minutes of on-screen time.
Uh-huh.
At best. And people liked him because he was cool and thought that he was important even though he actually wasn't. So Lucas was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to make him important now. And then suddenly he was your father.
Suddenly.
Yes.
Anyway, I think on that note, we should end this episode of Radio Rothingham.
So bad.
No, I have a better note.
Okay, what is it?
I mean you did notice that the first movie had as, what is it called, a director? The guy who looks like a parsnip with those terrible hair. Oh, the second movie has a different director, and possibly the third movie is gonna have a different director again, which I hope so, because apparently Tommy Wiseau decided that he would like to make a Star Wars movie at some point.
That needs to happen. I'm serious.
It does. Tommy Wiseau needs to be the director of the third movie.
I don't care in what context. It needs to happen. Make it non-canonful. I care, but I just want that Tommy Wiseau movie, Star Wars movie. Okay. Curly is very excited.
It must be amazing, Artrix. Just imagine. Yes, you need to reshoot the original trilogy. Imagine the scene. It's like Luke is like being bitchy. You killed my father, and then Darth Vader is like, "No, I am your father."
No, you would be more like, "No, I am your father. I am."
Wait. Who said he's going to be played by Tommy Wiseau? Wait, why are we kidding? He's going to play every character in that movie.
It's just going to be an entire movie played by Tommy Wiseau.
I'm your father.
I'm your father. You're tearing me apart, father.
Oh, hi, Leah.
Oh, hi there. Ah.
No, it's even better. Oh, hi, Han.
Oh, hi, Han.
They rule the galaxy. It's a father and son. Ah!
Bleep, 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 bleep. Oh dear. Oh hi, CP3O. I mean, bleep, 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 bleep. Which would be
yes.
oh hi.
You're tearing me apart, Chewbacca.
Ah.
Oh, hi, Chewbacca.
Anyway, I'm going to end this episode. I hope you hated it, and if you didn't hate it, then there's something wrong with you. I'm actually not sure when the next episode's gonna be. We'll figure this shit out. But in the meantime,
we're going to be Artrix.
So yeah, like, favorite, subscribe, give us 6 billion euros, and see you all for next retarded episode of Radio Rothingham.
Oh.
Bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.